It's called Treasure Island. My father gave it to me when I was about your age. I'll write to him and ask him to send it. Burl, what happened? Lundy, did you hit him? Get him, Lundy. No, boy! No! Lundy, no! Stop it! Did you kick him?
No, I never touched him.
Are you all right?
Fine as frog hair, teacher. I fell down is all.
Are you sure?
Yes'm.
I will not tolerate bullies. If I catch you hurting anyone else, I'll inform your father.
You don't care.
Then I'll turn you over to Mr. Grantland. He's bigger than you are. We'll see how you like that.
The Taylors and the Allens got a blood feud. Who's meant to fight?
Nobody is meant to fight. There will be no feuding in my school, Lundy. Miss Ida said feuding was a plague here, pure and simple. But Miss Alice held out hope because Lundy Taylor was at least attending school with the Allen children. And that had never happened before. I tried to be hopeful too, but I was troubled by the violence. David was wonderful. He preached every third Sunday in Lefty Branch, and he invited me along to raise my spirits. Yes, Theo's just dragging his feet. I think he wanted to be alone with me. Now, don't you laugh at me, David. I feel silly enough as it is.
Well, that is because you are stubborn. You should be riding Prince, but you wouldn't take my offer.
No, I know my limitations. I'm no horsewoman.
Yet. But it's no harder than walking 7 miles in a deluge.
Speaking of which...
I'll go first. Prince can set an example for old Theo. Let's go, boy. Stay on his back. Hang on.
David, he's falling.
Keep with him. You'll make it.
No, he's better off without me. I think I should jump.
Exactly right. It's not too deep. You can wade to shore.
David!
I'll get you.
I'll get her.
David, help me. I'm all wet.
Christy, you all right?
Yes, just soaked.
Here, try these. Let's see what else we can do.
You could, turn up the legs.
And what would hold up the pants?
Will this do?
It was just my size, and it was so beautiful. I wondered who the dress belonged to, and why Dr. McNeil locked a door in a community where people hardly even bothered to shut them. Thank you, it's perfect. Can I dry these by the fire?
That's what I built it for.
But I'm afraid it'll take a while.
Oh, David, I'm sorry. It's 2:15. You're supposed to preach in Lefty Branch at 3.
You stay here. I'll go on to Lefty Branch. By the time I get back, your clothes should be dry.
David, I'm sorry. I messed things up.
You didn't. Theo did. Bye, Doc. Thanks for your help.
You're a quiet one for a female. You're not going to faint again, are you?
No. And I apologize for disrupting your operation.
No doubt it was a shock to your delicate sensibilities. I thought seeing me again might have brought it back.
Actually, I was wondering where this dress came from.
It belonged to my wife.
I was wondering where you came from, too.
I was born in this cabin. So are my parents and my grandparents. I'm a hillbilly man.
Well, you don't talk like one.
I had my schooling outside, college, then medical school in Scotland. And how did that happen to a boy from these mountains? When I was 16, some surgeons came down from New York to hunt. I carried their camping gear. They took a liking to me. I confessed I had ambitions to be a doctor, so they made it possible.
And those are their pictures?
I owe them everything. I had 2 big city offers when I graduated. Very flattering for a poor young man.
You made a sacrifice. But since you did come back, I mean, conditions are so bad here, I just don't see that.
But I've accomplished much? You're young, Miss Huddleston, and naive. And you've made some sweeping judgments, haven't you?
Some things are obvious. Like cabins being so dirty and smelly, I lost my supper after one visit. Well, that may amuse you, Doctor. You're trained to stand anything. But Mountie O'Teal isn't funny.
Forgive me. It was your nose wrinkling when you remembered those smells. No. Mountie isn't funny.
Is it that she can't talk or won't?
The parents won't let me find out. These people don't trust doctors. And they can't be changed all at once. They have their own sense of time, and it moves slowly.
And in the meantime, Doctor, what about the children?
Don't forget, Miss Huddleston, I was one of those children.
He says he cares, but I don't really think he does. He was brave to operate on Bob Allen, but I don't know if I like him.
McNeil is not the easiest person in the world. But then again, neither are you. Christy, has anybody ever told you that your hair smells like roses?
Are those pigs drunk? David, what is it?
Moonshine. Illegal liquor. No wonder Lundy Taylor kept little Burl. He was trying to keep him away from this!
By Monday morning, most of the cove knew about the hidden liquor. Everyone agreed the most likely culprit was Lundy's father, Birdseye Taylor, a notorious moonshiner who had nothing but contempt for our mission.
Good to see you're up and about. No ill effects from your swim, no chills or fever?
None, but thank you for coming to check on me.
I didn't. I was on my way back from Raven Gap when I heard the news. He's a damn fool.
Why? Because he's angry that someone used the church to cover up a crime?
Because he doesn't understand what he's getting himself into.
There's more than enough evidence. All ready for the federal marshal. I lay odds it points to Birdseye Taylor.
The marshal's a mistake. Whoever did this doesn't see it as a crime.
Making liquor's against the law, isn't it?
And drinking it leads to feuding and killing.
And you think you won't cause killing if you try to stop it? Moonshine is a necessity here. Without it, they can't survive. Did you ever hear of the Whiskey Rebellion? It happened in 1794. There are precious few roads here now. Back then, there were none. The farmers couldn't get their grain to market like the Flatlanders. So they turned 8 bushels of corn into 16 gallons of whiskey and took it out on mules. Well, when the government decided to tax whiskey, the farmers were so outraged at the unfairness, they started an armed rebellion.
Well, this is 1912, not 1794.
And these people still scratch out a bare living. They don't have money for shoes or medicine or a new plow when the old one breaks. Selling liquor is the only way they can get it.
Then they might as well be stealing that money.
You're so righteous for someone so new here.
I want to help these people, Doctor, so they don't have to break the law. We can get donations for shoes and medicine.
They're too proud. They won't accept charity. They want to work for what they get.
Even if it's the devil's work?
I'm warning you. They don't see it that way.
Then it's my job to open their eyes.
And how do you expect to do that?
Come to church Sunday and find out.
It was much more crowded than usual. I realized the reason for the crowd. They were curious to see if David would preach against the moonshiners and if he would name them.
There are those who work late at night in the cove, in the darkness, and they are serving evil. The white lightning being brewed here is the devil's own drink. It leads to quarrels and killings. And now school children are being used to transport this illegal liquor. Birdseye Taylor made his own son do it. He made him hide the poison underneath this very church, and that is evil.
Tom McCone, Isaac's father,
Don't
looked
underestimate
miserable,
him.
as though David's words were meant
He will not
especially for
lose.
him.
God will not lose the fight against evil here or anywhere. But if you're not on his side, you will lose. How many of you want to be on his side? How many of you want to fight evil in his name? Do you? Do you? Do you? Let us pray. Pray.
Mrs. Spencer, nice to see you.
Miss Christy,
Something wrong?
that's their school. That's a lot of young'uns for one teacher.
They're a handful, all right, but I'm enjoying them. Each one has something special. Like your Zadie. I've never seen anyone so quick at arithmetic.
She's plumb tickled with the learning she's getting. All of my children love school. And I owe you a favor, and I'd be obliged if you'd let me return it. Would you care to walk with me and maybe pick some late berries?
Mrs. Spencer, that's the nicest offer anyone's made me since I left home. I'd love to.
And could you handle my front name, Fairlight?
I could. Thank you, Fairlight. She was holding out the gift of her friendship. Among the mountain people, the most cherished gift of all. Is Tom McCone a moonshiner? I thought he was kin to you Allens.
His wife is my sister.
He looked troubled during David's sermon, like he had something to hide.
Opal got real sick when her last baby quickened. They didn't have no money for medicine. Tom did what he had to do to get it.
Tom runs liquor for Birdseye. Fairlight. He could get arrested for that. He could go to prison. Who would take care of Opal and the boys then? There must be something we can do. Tom can't keep breaking the law.
No, it's like the feud, Miss Christy. You can't do anything about that. Nobody can. It's just the way things is.
The next day, Lundy Taylor was back in school as if David's sermon against his father had never happened.
Can I clean the blackboards for you, teacher? Let me reach those high places real good.
In a minute, Lundy. First, we have to talk about the liquor under the school. Who put it there?
Teacher, I don't know nothing about no liquor.
Morning, teacher.
Oh, good morning, Rob. You're here early.
Reckon I can get some studying done before the others get here?
That's fine.
There'd be buckeyes in the ashes, ma'am. They get hot and then blow all to pieces when the air hits them.
No, ma'am, teacher. I wouldn't do that. Not me, teacher.
You built the fire, didn't you?
Yeah, but I didn't put them buckeyes in there.
Just like you didn't hide any liquor under the school. It was wrong, Lundy. It was wrong, and you know it.
Look, you best mind your own business. And you tell that preacher to mind his, too, or you're both going to be sorry.
You don't scare me, Lundy, and neither does your father. And if you want to stay in this school, you will behave yourself. Now sit down.
I'll sit when I'm good and ready.
No, sit when I say it, and I'm saying it right now. Now you sit down, Lundy.
No woman's going to tell me what to do. You and your school, you can go straight to hell!
The minute he left, I was sorry I'd lost my temper. I was even sorrier when Lundy hadn't come back after 3 days. How could I teach him right from wrong unless he was in school? And how could I get him back there except by talking to his father? I knew that neither Miss Alice nor David would ever agree to my going alone. So I slipped off without telling anyone. Hello? Anybody here?
What do you want?
I'd like to talk to you about Lundy. Lundy, we've missed you at school.
Stay your peace and be quick.
Mr. Taylor? I know you must want Lundy to get some schooling so he can get on in life. And I may not be the world's best teacher, but I think I can teach him something.
When I whoop my young'uns my own self. Don't want no gal doing it.
Mr. Taylor, I did not whip Lundy.
Didn't hide him in front of all them other young'uns?
No, I didn't. Lundy is much bigger than I am. How do you think I could whip him?
Pa, I didn't mean to lie to you.
You smoke your britches the fire catches! Worthless. Just plain worthless.
Please don't be too hard on him. Lundy was just testing me out. I did push him back into his seat, but I think if I'm patient, he'll settle down. So I hope you'll send him back to school.
Schooling's no use to Lundy. He's twitter-witted like his ma. Fitty-fied and addle-pated. She run off and left us.
I know it must be hard. But if you need any help, that's what the mission is here for, to help.
Churches ain't for us. Always been a sinner myself. I ain't been no hypocrite, though. Never lied to the Lord.
I'm a sinner, too. Everybody is. And that's what the church is all about, saving us sinners.
Don't want saving. Always been a sinner, always will be. I discuss churches. And meddling women.
Mr. Taylor, you do have to set an example, though. You can't go on making illegal liquor, and it was wrong to use your son.
That ain't none of your business. Nor the preachers. Now get off my land. I said, get.
Please, Mr. Taylor, don't punish Lundy because of how you feel. Send him back to school. Teach me how.
Ever hear the corn shuck that white lightning? No, we aim to hold us a horse race and she be the prize. No traitors, though. Traitors ain't allowed to race, because they're lily white cowards scared of a puny lawman. They told the preacher damn lies.
Get rid of that jug. And there's not going to be any race. Not for whiskey.
You got no say, so hush your mouth.
I said get rid of it.
Mr. Taylor, it is common knowledge that I'm a better shot than you. Or your boys. For that matter, I think I might beat you in a horse race, too. But since there's nothing left to race for, I think it's time you went home.
You'll be the ones to clear out. Outlanders got no right teaching our young'uns. Send them back to this here school. Your answer to me.
I asked you to leave, Mr. Taylor.
He didn't mean it, did he?
That's hard to say.
That was the bravest thing I have ever seen.
There's nothing brave about using a gun. I'm Quaker, born and bred. It's against everything I believe to settle a dispute with violence.
It was the only way.
It is never the only way.
Miss Alice, if you hadn't taken that shot, someone might have gotten hurt, even killed. You saved lives.
By threatening to take one. It was wrong. I was wrong. Don't put me on a pedestal. I don't belong there.
I do admire you, Miss Alice.
Don't. I had a child. Once. I had a child. But I never had a husband. And I lost my child through my own selfishness. When she needed me the most, I closed my heart. I'm not a saint. I'm flesh and blood. I have made a great many mistakes. And I see I've made another one just now. I said more than I meant to. Forgive me.
I am not going to be intimidated by Birdseye Taylor. I am going to teach as usual. Thanks to my father, we have new books and maps.
Even an illustrated edition of Peter Rabbit.
I thought it might entice me out here to you.
Christy, the odds are they're not going to come. At least not for a while.
I won't believe that. I can't.
Are you hungry?
No, you go ahead. Birdseye's threat had worked. He'd frightened everyone away. But this was my fault, too. I had played the heroine hoping for applause. And I had failed my children.
Sweet are the uses of adversity.
Is that from the Bible?
Poetry, Miss Huddleston. And this our life, exempt from public haunt, finds tongues in trees, books in running brooks, sermons in stones, and good in everything. William Shakespeare, Act 2, Scene 1, as you like it. I thought perhaps you might like to read it in my absence. I'll be back in a few days. By that time, the children will be here, too.
I hope you're right.
So do I.
Have a safe trip to Low Gap. Oh, Miss Ida, let me help you with that.
Thank you. I don't know why I bother. With everyone scared to come to school, we may as well pack up and leave.
No, we can't. We have to keep faith.
Probably an animal, one of the pigs. Oh, my Lord.
Tom.
He was lucky. Bullet lodged in his shoulder. Missed his heart and lung.
Did he tell you what happened?
Only that he was out hunting and was shot in the back.
He'll be all right, though.
Yes, though he'll hurt like the devil for a few weeks.
I never thought Birdseye would do it.
Birdseye believes Tom told about the still. He thinks Christy went up to the McCones to persuade Tom to do it.
Whatever his motive was, Birdseye should be arrested.
On what proof? The man could shoot the eye out of a raven at 50 yards. That's why they call him Birdseye. If he wanted to shoot Tom, he wouldn't have missed. Let them cool off. Close the school for a while.
And give in to the bullies? No, Doctor. No, I was sent here to teach school. And if I have to wait in that empty schoolhouse until next spring, that's what I'm going to do. Two days went by. I was so discouraged. I didn't think I could live up to my fine words to Dr. McNeil. But just when I was about to cry from frustration,
It ain't right, Miss Christy. You're trying to do good here. And young'uns gotta have their learning. Ain't no kind of life without it. Now, John's helping his daddy at the farm, but here's the rest of them. Come on, children.
what about Birdseye?
We can't let him win. If we do, ain't no sense in going on. Young'uns, you mind Miss Christy now. When it's time to go, your daddy'll come and fetch you.
Fairlight. Thank you.
Listen.
Fairlight's loyalty warmed my heart. But after 3 more days, none of my other students had returned. I wondered if the rest of the children would ever come back. It's been a week already. What if they're the only ones who come back?
They won't be. Patience, Miss Huddleston, is still a virtue.
Dr. McNeil says it's our fault. I shouldn't have provoked Birdseye. David should not have named the Moonshiners.
Dr. McNeil believes in perfection. He expects it from himself and everybody else. You did what you thought was right. Have you ever watched a baby learn to walk? She wobbles and she totters and then she falls down and she bumps her nose. And then she puts her little hands right down flat on the floor and she hikes up her rear end and she tries again.
And again, I keep making mistakes.
Yes, thee makes mistakes. Thou art human. Thank God and seek faith.
Seek faith. Seek faith. I said it to myself over and over. And the next morning, I saw the results. I was never so happy to see anyone. Creed Allen, Little Burl, and Mountie O'Teal in her raggedy old coat. I'm very, very glad he gets it. We have beautiful new books and maps. It had to be Lundy. But how could anyone do this? Did Lundy and his father hate me so much?
Teacher, ain't it true, teacher, that God loves everybody and the wind's got love everybody too? Even them who done this?
Yes, it's true, Burl. Sometimes it's very hard. I've been looking for you. I know you vandalized the school. That was a hateful thing to do. The children are so hurt, but they're trying to forgive you, and so am I.
Don't do me no favors.
I care about what happens to you, Lundy. You are a bright boy. I want you to have a future. I don't want you to spend your life making moonshine. I don't want you to die young. I want you to be somebody. Why were you sleeping out here?
There's no place else to go.
Did you have a fight with your father?
They ain't fights. He does all the hitting. I gotta stand there and take it.
You were reading? David Copperfield?
Give me that. This David Copperfield, he never had nothing either, right? But he grew up to be a fine gentleman. He showed everybody. Well, I can do that too. No matter what my pa says.
Yes. You want to come back to school, don't you?
I can't come back to school. My pa won't let me come back.
Yes, you can. We can start all over with a clean slate. We can forget everything that happened. Do you remember when you rewrote that composition for me? You showed real promise.
Get away from her, boy. You're coming home. Now!
No! Don't! Don't! He wants to go to school! Please! Please! Don't do this!
Best get on home, boy.
Dear Father, a terrible thing has happened. All our books have been ruined. It's made me think that you and Mother were right. I'm not meant to be here.
Hello? Is anybody here?
This isn't funny. Please show yourself. school gone?
No. A corner was burned, part of the roof. Your desk, though, is a sorry sight. Jeb Spencer saw the fire from his place. He and his boys helped David put it out. You haven't talked much about it.
I think Birdseye did it, and maybe Lundy.
If they did, we must forgive them. We can't be part of a cycle of blame and vengeance. We must be the ones to break it.
I know I do forgive them.
And thyself. Believe me, child, it's the only way to make a beginning.
I tried. Out of love for Miss Alice. But I couldn't forgive myself. The fire had been a clear sign I was doing more harm than good here. It was time to go home. I was going to slip away before anyone was up. I wanted to disappear as though I'd never been here. Before I could leave, I had to see the schoolhouse one last time. It was only a room, but the memories it held were so precious to me. Even Mounty's old coat.
Teacher, I've come to see you and swap houses.
Teacher, I worked these figures. Could you get me a harder book? I want to smell nice. Have lots of pretty clothes. Like teacher.
Suddenly, I was determined to do one thing before I left.
I want to go far away from home. Cross the mountains to the level lands. Give me a fine job with plenty to eat.
It would pleasure me to know the right way to put things down on paper for other folks, too.
Generally, go by saying Houston now. Buttons.
Mounty, you can talk.
Are you leaving us, teacher? Are you going back to the level lands?
No. No, little girl, I'm going to stay.
Christy Huddleston. I think thee will do.